So Turkey has joined South Africa in its accusation against Israel at the Criminal Court of Justice. This is going to be a first, fellas, among some of the biggest commercial countries to do. Standing against Israel, like South Africa, in the International Court of Justice.
In accordance with the political decision taken, I would like to announce here for the first time that we, as Turkey, have decided to formally intervene in the legal case filed by South Africa against Israel at the International Court of Justice.
Müdahil olmaya karar.
Turkey said on Friday it will not resume trade with Israel. So they stopped trade as well with Israel, worth $7 billion until a permanent ceasefire and a humanitarian aid are secure in Gaza, becoming the first of Israel's key commercial partners to take such step.
All of the West is working for Israel. Starting with America, they are all working for Israel. All these means are being mobilized to unfortunately condemn the waifs and strays, poor and have-not people of Palestine to death in the face of Israel's bombs. We could not have remained patient in the face of these, so we took our steps. There was a trade volume of $9.5 billion between us. We closed this door, pretending this trade volume does not exist. May it go well from now on.
A lot of people complained, a lot of people mentioned why many Muslim countries were not speaking up or speaking for Gaza against Israel. Now Turkey has joined South Africa into doing that. Now after Turkey said they have stopped their trade with Israel, Israel's foreign minister came back blasting and he said the Turkish president is a dictator, or he's acting like a dictator. Breaking international trade agreement was how dictators act or behave. As much as Israel is a powerful country, Turkey is a very powerful country. But the relationship between Turkey and Israel have been very shaky for the longest time. Let's look at it. In 2010, Turkey broke diplomatic ties with Israel. In 2016, it improved, but did not last. In 2018, Israel and Turkey expelled each other's diplomats over the killing of Palestinians. In 2022, relationships improved again. Turkey was going some difficulties economically. They invited the Prime Minister of Israel at the time and hosted Yair Lapid. In 2023, bilateral trade agreement between Israel and Turkey were worth $7 billion. Then came October 7th, when there was an attack by Hamas in Israel territory. We all saw that. Erdogan, president of Turkey, was very measured in his stance. He wasn't very flagrant in whatever he said. While many people felt that Islamic countries should have reacted against Israel, he was calling for political discussion. Then very shortly, his tone changed. He compared Netanyahu to Hitler, then called him the butcher of the Palestinians. And then now we find ourselves in a situation where Turkey has completely stopped the trade with Israel worth $7 billion. Erdogan political party is Islamic based. That's in Turkey. That's the political party he functions with. In the beginning, he had to balance between diplomatic ties, making money with other countries, and staying strong enough to represent Islamic people in the highest level possible. Now, something crucial is happening right now. In Turkey, there has been local elections. And with the local election happening in Turkey, in March, the AKP party suffered the worst defeat in 2 decades. And the AKP party is Erdogan political party. The majority of regular voters were distancing themselves from Erdogan political party. Because the majority of people were Islamic. And the majority of people voted for the new Islam Welfare Party. This party has a very strong stance against Israel. They do not like Israel. They want them to pay for whatever they're doing to the Palestinians. So logically, this is kind of clear what's happening. The Turkish president was a little bit tolerant in the beginning, until he saw that his political party was losing drastically. They had never lost that way in the past 2 decades. And everybody was voting for a party that's clearly harsh in conditions against Israel. Now, our question is very clear here. Is Turkey being honest in its stance against Israel? Are they really trying to make Israel open the way for aid, stop what's happening in Gaza, by stopping the trade, by stopping the communication, by calling Netanyahu names? Or is he doing this for political reasons? Is he trying to get Turkish people to resume liking his political party? Maybe. Is he not being honest with South Africa by saying we have joined South Africa in accusing Israel because whatever Israel is doing is not right? Are they going to lure South Africa into a lie by being friendly with them in the face of the world. But in reality, they are just playing a game. So again, fellas, you know exactly what's happening in Israel. We've spoken about this. If you want more information, I'm sure you can find it on The Real News on YouTube. What's happening there is to stop. Because as much as there are bad people, there are innocent people too, who have done absolutely nothing. Children, women, men, elderly people. Let me just remind you here. A while back, South Africa went to court accusing Israel of genocide. I'm not going to finish the sentence because you know what I'm talking about. Because of the devastating effect of their attack on Gaza. And they wanted a fair treatment of the people of Gaza compared to how they're treating people of Ukraine. We all know what's happening in Ukraine is unacceptable. And Russia has been brought to the books for doing what they're doing. And South Africa wanted the same energy to be applied when it came to Israel and Gaza. As much as there are bad people that want to do negative things in Israel, and those victims did not deserve what happened to them, and their families are still mourning up until now the departure of those people. Would that be the reason to punish everybody in Gaza, including women, children, and elderly people that are clearly living the consequences of things done by a certain group of people? Most people on earth don't think it's fair. South Africa was the only African country that spoke out for the Palestinians.
We've called on the international community, the United Nations, and all other concerned international bodies to make sure that peace is installed in Palestine.
And surprisingly, there weren't many African countries that supported South Africa, except for Namibia. In fact, Kenyan president with Congolese president clearly supported Israel in what's happening in Gaza. One of the main reasons why South Africa supported the idea of sending Israel to court was because South Africa itself went through apartheid. And apartheid was a system that separated black people from white people. Black could not live within the proximities of white people. They could not share toilets. They could not share restaurants. They could not live in the same areas, not going to the same schools. They could not eat in the same plates. They could not marry. They could not interact beyond a certain level. It was completely separation, an area for whites, an area for blacks, and black could not go to the white area without a passport in their own country. That was apartheid in South Africa, an apartheid that ended only in 1994, and many people went to prison for that, including Nelson Mandela, who was a staunch supporter of Yasser Arafat, himself a leader of Palestinians. So South Africans and Palestinians were fighting a very similar fight, they feel. And therefore, Mandela saying that the South African freedom can never be completed if Palestinians are still under the shackle of what's happening in Palestine. This is one of the reasons why South Africa took it upon itself to go and accuse Israel in the eyes of the world. Let me know how you feel about this. Is Erdogan from Turkey playing a game here? Or is he being serious? Is he doing this because his political party is losing vote? Or is he really taking a stance that's real and serious? Could his insult against the Prime Minister of Israel be just a game? Just a stupid game? Or is he being serious this time around? God bless.